Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and the fact that makes your brain go. A huge study done of Chicagoans saying the socialization out somewhere, doing things, has gone down. It's the lowest it's been in 40 years when doing this. Kenzie said going out, getting a drink, going to a bar, which is a perfect answer, and restaurant, whatever. I just get my drink, get my food, and go home. And maybe look at my phone, take a nice little picture of it, and then post it. Kay said concerts, which again is a great answer because people used to go to concerts to find their people. Hey, if you like this band, we probably could hang out and be good people. Instead, I think the phone is another distraction on that. Or you're paying so much for the show, you don't want to miss any second of the show anymore to talk to anybody. Those are both great answers, but it's not right according to this study. The thing that people are least social in doing for the least in 40 years here in Chicago is when walking the streets, people are the least social they've ever been.
Okay.
Now, apparently, and I'm a small talker. If we're standing at a street corner and I'm walking across, I'm going to say something to the person next to me standing me on the street. Now, I don't know if you guys do that.
No.
Case?
No.
On the case,
Why am I going to bother them? I know they have their headphones in. Why would you do that?
I'm not talking about headphones. They're standing there right with me, and I can see their ears.
You can't tell with the AirPods on. I hate when people do that to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's in. I have mittens on. It's in my pocket. You have to take a mitten off, and the phone's on the inside pocket. You go and you pause it, and you go, I'm sorry, what was that? And they're like, just saying hi, nice coat. And you're like, okay, thanks so much. And he has a glove on thing in the pocket. It's a whole thing.
I check ears. to make sure there's no pods in there.
You don't check ears.
I'm an ear guy.
Mm-hmm. I'm an ear guy. Yeah, I'm all in those ears.
But you know what, Brian? Even if you're an ear guy, statistically, an overwhelming majority of people are wearing headphones now. So you're running out of people to talk to.
Well, that is part of what they say. It is technology. They say people are just all closed in, even walking the streets. So they're not open to a conversation or just saying like, good day, sir. Nice weather out there today, huh? Something like that.
I'd be so scared if someone said that to me. Like, oh my God, he's trying to kill me.
Especially if it was in that old-timey voice.
That's what I'm saying. Good day, I'm like, oh, he's on drugs.
Good day, ma'am. Your legs look fantastic. Nice gams you got there, lady.
Smile and nod, boys. Smile and nod.
And they also say that because of loneliness, that people are just too even afraid they're lonely and they're even afraid to engage with someone on the street. They're just afraid because they're so lonely already as they are that they're just afraid to be rejected and just talking on the street something very quick small talk.
Yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy there. I don't say that to be mean. No, I've been there. I get it. Kind of chicken and egg. I'm so lonely, but I also don't talk to anybody, and it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I'm the only one, I think, that's talking to people on the streets, I think, anymore.
Do you feel like you ever get a response back, or are you just talking to yourself at this point?
Oh, no, people respond. I don't know what they say to me about me after they leave the situation, but I hope they say, like, well, that was nice.
What street are you on? You meet all these people. Like, you drive your Rogue around, are you just catcalling out of your window?
You think I drive exactly everywhere and I don't get out of the car and I jump from the Rogue into the building I'm going to?
Like, what do you just get to walk into Costco? Like, I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, I talk to everybody in Costco.
Oh, God. As if that's not already chaos. I might have this huge list, kids, and then there's a guy like, oh, where'd you get your coat?
Well, you know what's ruined my Costco experience a little bit is the shoppers for other people, the Instacart people.
Why does that affect you?
Because those people are racing through Costco to their list just to get everything off the shelf and get out, and they don't want to do small talk, and they don't want to enjoy the experience of like, I wonder what's down this aisle today. They move things around here sometimes.
Well, Brian, they're at work.
I understand. And it ruins the experience for me. I just like talking to everybody. Everybody's in a rush. Slow down.
They're at work.
I get it, but I don't like it.
Hey, you work slower for Brian.
There's so many people shopping for other people now.
I'm not a Costco guy because I don't have that kind of money. And Mariano's family over here, working class. But
you understand you buy a membership and you save tons and tons of money,
I don't know. All I know is that even at Mariano's, there really is a plethora of Instacart workers there, and it creates chaos. It's like people that don't follow the speed limit on the road. That's kind of what it's like shopping now.
Yes. I only used Instacart one time, and I'm like, never again, because I was an ingredient short, a very, very, very important ingredient when I was about to cook for a lot of people, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to Instacart it. I'm going to make the dessert right now, because this was not like I couldn't go to a store. And because I was ordering Instacart, I'm like, well, I'll just throw a few other things on there that I'll need for the week, right? 'Cause I'm already paying for it. I don't want to get like one vegetable, right? So, because that's what it was. I would think I was at like bell peppers or onion. It was something like a key ingredient, right?
They didn't bring it. It was on the list, but didn't bring it.
Wait, no, I'm saying in general, I didn't have it.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to order that, and then I'll throw a few other things on there so I don't have to go out like tomorrow too, right?
Right.
They brought everything except for that ingredient.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I didn't need this stuff. I just added it. And I reached out to Instacart, and they're like, well, we'll just credit you back the item you didn't get. And I go, no, this is insane. What do you mean you're only going to credit me back for that? I wouldn't have sent somebody out shopping for these other items, and they would only give me a credit for that vegetable. And I go, a credit? I'm never going to use you again. I don't want a credit. How about you just give me money? And now I have like a $4 credit on Instacart, and I have a big grudge.
What can we get for $4 on Instacart today?
I'm just not dealing with it.
Also, what'd you do with like the 72-piece bubblegum bag you bought so you could buy the bell peppers?
I know.
So get out and talk to somebody on the street today. Be careful. Be careful who you choose to talk to, but that's the fact that makes your brain go. Chicago on the streets, not talking to anybody. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and so stoked to welcome our friend Brent Smith from Shinedown back onto the show, where basically every time we talk to Brent, it's usually because we just think about it. We talk about Shinedown on the air, and then we have a question about some of the lyrics of a song, and he's just always ready to pick up the phone and talk about it. Am I correct in that assessment, Brent, of our relationship?
Absolutely. I try to be on point with you all the time and bring joy to your life.
Do you ever think about blocking us?
Never. Doesn't even cross my mind. Wouldn't know how to survive without you guys and girls. And I'm being totally honest. There's no facetiousness in that statement whatsoever. No, you guys are great. How you been, man?
I've been excellent, and still basking in the glow of the lounge you did last year for us, where it was a very big kind of a mental health summit and your performance, and it was so tremendous having you in and doing that live, and seeing the emotions and the things you talk about of your own life that related to so many of our listeners. And so thank you for that again. I know we already thanked you for it, but I got to thank you again for that, because we still get people texting in and calling in and messaging us about that performance, about that lounge.
Hey, listen, you guys and girls there at Q101, I mean, you're trailblazers yourself. I mean, these are heavy subject matters that we're talking about, and you guys have always been super, super engaged with that. You listen to your audience, and your audience means a great deal to us. And anytime that you're able to bring that awareness out to the public, it's always, I think a lot of people appreciate it. It's needed. We got to talk about our emotions. And I know sometimes people feel like, well, you just need to move on and this and that and the other. So, we live in a very interesting time, especially when we talk about social media and everybody has a platform, and, it can be noisy out there. So I appreciate all of you allowing artists to talk about these things, allowing your fan base and your audience to talk about it as well. You guys are always pushing the envelope and doing things that nobody else is doing.
Well, and we're stoked for you and to see you Saturday, August 16th, to see Shinedown All-State Arena, and love the show being there with Bush and Morgan Wade. What can we expect from that show?
I'll be honest with you, we're still kind of putting all of that together. I think what we want to do more than anything is just really surprise the audience, really just take them on a journey. And every time we go into these production meetings and we start to really take a step back and look and say, okay, what have we done before? What do we want to do now? A lot of times, too, when we're building the productions, certain things will start to raise their hand, and then it'll guide us in the direction that we need to go. But it'll be it's going to be an eclectic night. We're so stoked to have Bush and Morgan Wade. Morgan Wade is a force. She's a true outlaw, which is amazing to have her on the tour. Gavin and myself have known each other for years. I mean, they're essentially celebrating 2 anniversaries on this tour, with one being, I think the 30 year for 16 Stone, and then also Razor Blade Suitcase. They got a brand new record coming out as well. And then we got a lot of announcements coming, in the world of Shinedown as well. So I think people should expect to see a fantastic show. We're going to do everything in our power to make that happen.
I love that you say in the meeting somebody might raise their hand with a suggestion, and I imagine someone would say, we need more fire during Sound of Madness. We need more fire.
Yeah, that gets brought up. That gets brought up a lot. Like, our whole thing about the fire is just, now it becomes the question of, okay, I mean, orange is a nice color and all, but can we like change it? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I don't know. Can we make it blue? And people then say, I mean, anything's possible.
I can't wait to see the Blue Flames at the Allstate Arena August 16th. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
And of course, right now, excited to play 365, the new single from Shinedown. We're going to premiere it here in a second. And by the way, there's a second single, Dance Kid Dance, that's at Q101.com. Just give us a kind of synopsis of this song before we play it.
Man, 365, last year, the band had we had a lot happen last year. That's kind of the tag of the song. A lot can happen in a year. But the song really is about understanding the loved ones in your life. You know, sometimes when you get up on any given day, life is precious and time is precious, so you don't need to waste it because it's also not promised. And we had a lot of loss last year in our families, and I think a lot of what happened and what we went through last year with our families and having to be there and be supportive for each other was the idea that these people that we loved, you know, we lost them, but we really didn't truly lost them. They're not necessarily gone. They're everywhere. And you have to celebrate their life and what they meant to you and how they influenced you and taught you and helped you become the person that you are. So a lot of 365 is about the ones that we lose and to remember to always keep their memory alive because they're not truly gone. They're everywhere. And again, it's also about rolling the dice for your own life because a lot can happen in a year, but anything that, you know, is holding you back or you're questioning whether or not you think you're capable of having the life that you want, stop thinking like that. Just go after it. You know, time is precious. So, you know, we want people to lean in to living.
Well, let's hear it. So it's Shinedown 365 premiering here now on Q101. Brent from Shinedown, thank you so much for calling in. I always love talking to you.
It's my absolute pleasure, my friend. Thank you guys for being so supportive. We love you, and we'll see you very soon.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
And Snails tickets are gone, but don't worry, we'll have more. So keep listening. Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for Case's movie reviews.
For Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July, and we will be open for business.
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
Utah. Give me 2.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand.
Now fry like bacon, you little freshman piggies! Fry! Fry!
Playing football in West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life.
So I think it was Bob from Addison last week, because of Bob Uecker passing away, to recommend watching Major League. And thank you, Bob and Addison. Everybody in Addison is listening clearly, and hopefully everybody else on Case. A 25-year-old guy reviewing a 35-year-old movie?
1987, so you do the math.
Wow. That's a lot. Dang. That's a lot. So Major League, of course, starring Tom Berenger, Wesley Snipes, Charlie Sheen, a star-studded list, a hilarious movie that, of course, Bob Uecker's, his lines, people just, just a bit outside would quote that.
So funny it is.
Oh, they'd quote his lines, not even know the movie sometimes. But let's start out, we always start by playing the trailer from 1987, Major League.
We'd love for you to come to spring training for a shot at this year's club.
Not sure I can make it by then.
It's Wild Thing Vaughn's first season on the outside.
What league you been playing in?
California Penal.
And he's still a little wild.
Just a bit outside.
These things make me look ridiculous.
Season's the most important thing, son. I don't think it's that important.
Tom Berenger, Charlie Sheen. Major League. Rated R.
That sounds like it was from 1927.
A little bit.
Not 1987.
A little bit.
Wow. Okay, Case. So you've now seen this movie. I can't imagine you can tear this movie apart in any way. It was just a hilarious, fun movie.
One of the most disappointing movies that I have watched for this segment.
What?
I have to leave.
Here, hold on. I understand that sometimes I draw the ire of people. They're not always a huge fan of what I have to say. I'm going to be reasoned and well explained.
Well, I doubt it, but go ahead.
And why I wanted to love this movie, because we haven't done, over the last year, I've watched a lot of dramatic classics, heist movies, horror movies. We haven't done a lot of comedies. I think the only hard comedy we did was Naked Gun when O.J. Simpson died, because obviously we did that.
Well, he had, had to honor his
Complicated legacy.
complicated legacy, yeah.
We had to honor
I don't
that.
think we should get into it right now.
So I was excited because comedic movies are the one thing that I feel like, okay, I've seen a good chunk of these. I grew up on the Judd Apatow movies in the 2000s. I love a good comedy. That's the genre that I feel comfortable in. This movie doesn't know what it wants to be. It's like divided into thirds, where the first third of the movie is awesome because it's almost a little bit like Naked Gun baseball. There's so much great physical comedy. You get introduced into all of these great characters. You have Charlie Sheen, you have Wesley Snipes, you have the manager who sounds like he smokes 100 packs of cigarettes a day.
He's awesome.
You have the rich owner who wants to move the team to Miami. It's not only great character work in the sense that you have all these great characters who I'm like, oh, I'm going to spend the whole movie with these guys. This is awesome. But also, the movie is super, super funny. All of the spring training stuff where the team is bad at baseball, I was hooked at that point. I was like, this is going to be a movie that I'm going to love.
Okay, this review sounds great then so far.
What the hell happened?
Yeah.
So the second third of this movie, it dips into this romantic comedy storyline.
Wait, you love rom-coms.
I am a romantic at heart.
How dare you?
This is a bad plot. Remind me of the actor's name. The guy that plays Jake Taylor.
Tom Berenger.
I want to say Tom Bergeron. I knew that wasn't it. Tom Berenger.
Handsome.
Rene Russo. Pretty.
Beautiful. How dare you?
As I've talked about women in the 80s.
Lynn is great. You don't like Lynn?
I don't. Those characters are the worst characters in the movie. Their relationship is disturbing because Tom, the actor, Jake Taylor, the character, he stalks her for this entire movie. They're at the same restaurant. He gives her a creepy phone call, Zero Riz. He shows up.
Listen, that's called game. That's not stalking.
It was not game. He shows up at her fiance's house while he's having a party and invites himself in. Deranged behavior.
That was a little.
I love that kind of stuff. This is why I end up in the relationships I end up in. I'm like, oh my God.
He follows.
Kenzie loves being hunted.
I do. And it's like, it draws in the wrong kind of people. But boy, do I like being over pursued, which ends up being scary.
At one point, he follows her home. He does it in the bullpen cart, which is the cart shaped like a Cleveland Indians baseball helmet.
That was fun.
It's awesome. It's the only redeeming part of that entire storyline arc is seeing the bullpen cart go down a street with other cars. That was great. They are lifeless. They are uninspired. It is so boring, and you have to sit through so much of that. And then the third part of the movie, which is the Indians-Yankees series, it's just a sports movie at that point. There's nothing particularly.
You love sports,
but sports movies. I struggled with Rudy up until the very end. I was so disappointed. I thought this was going to be this really, really funny movie because the characters are so great, and it just doesn't get there. I wanted this movie to be like Tom and Jerry with the owner and the Indians, with her trying to make the team worse as things go on. I can't believe there wasn't a scene in this movie where they hit the trade deadline, because once they start playing well, she should start to trade away the players that are playing well. They should get even.
It's not a movie about the Sox.
Oh, wow.
That wasn't nice.
Well, I'm just saying.
They should get worse in theory, but get better in execution. I just feel like we got introduced to all these characters in the beginning, Charlie Sheen and Wesley Snipes and the owner, and we don't really get enough time with them.
But you hate long movies. There was a lot in there that they gave you that was
cut out the rom-com stuff. It was unnecessary.
But then that gave you the emotional ending that when he got the win and Rene Russo's in the crowd, she dumps the douchebag boyfriend to come back to the guy she loved in the beginning.
Lame scene. They won the American League pennant, not the World Series. Get your ass back in your seat, okay?
That was an incredible. You could take that third, as you call it, in thirds, and I think you're right. It is kind of 3, 3, and 3. The last third is an incredible sports movie in its own. The build-up when Tom Berenger points out and then he points again. Not you, a D3 prospect, didn't appreciate that.
Speaking of D3 prospects, so I started doing some research after I watched this movie because my relationship with Charlie Sheen. You have to remember, I'm 25. I only know Charlie Sheen as a crazy person. And I didn't watch 2.5 Men, so I don't know if other than he's in Ferris Bueller for like a second, I don't know if I've ever actually seen Charlie Sheen in anything before.
First off, all you need to know about Charlie Sheen is how incredible his interviews are.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing I know about him. So
he only knows the Tiger Blood interview. That's all
exactly,
you know.
It's the best interview. I loved him the second I saw it.
So,
ooh, drugs in the house. Ah, everyone's gonna die.
He doesn't know Young Guns, Charlie Sheen, Platoon, Charlie Sheen. You don't know all the greatness he's done.
No, I
Wall Street.
I only know him as a crazy guy. So I did some research, and I found out that Charlie Sheen was like a standout high school baseball player who wanted to play collegiate baseball. Things happened in his life. It didn't work out. But he was the one guy of the actors of this movie. It turns out Wesley Snipes, horrible athlete, terrible baseball player, didn't know how to throw a baseball, couldn't hit, wasn't actually that fast. Charlie Sheen, though, had a rocket for an arm, but Charlie Sheen wasn't happy with his own performance, his own fastball in this movie. So while they were filming, he started taking steroids during the filming of Major League so that he would become a better baseball player.
I didn't know that. That tracks.
That's
Method
incredible.
acting.
Yes. That's incredible. I didn't know that. That's
I know.
amazing.
I mean, it's in hindsight on brand. It makes sense, right?
Well, of course, that leads to the scene with Bob Uecker while you watch this movie when Charlie Sheen is pitching and they're going like not just a little outside.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering, just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. Ball 4, ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches.
Oh, so good.
So even with that great Bob Uecker stuff, that was very funny. Again, I thought Charlie Sheen's character was awesome. I thought Wesley Snipes was super entertaining in this movie. I loved the manager. I feel like they wrote half of a movie, and every time I started to get into something, they would completely change the structure of it. They would change the tone of it. This is, in theory, a funny movie. But, man, I wanted it to be better. I was left so disappointed by Major League.
That's disappointing to hear, actually.
It is.
By the way, Jason checked in and said you get more with those characters in Major League 2.
Okay, well, I'm not doing Major League 2 next week.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. No.
Yes, you damn well will.
We're going to do Groundhog's Day next week with Bill Murray because I've never seen that before. Next Sunday is, of course, Groundhog's Day. So,
okay.
So we'll do that next week. But I think it's time for me to give a rating for Major League.
What are you going to rate on this one?
Baseballs.
Oh, okay. I just thought of something more creative. How about chickens for Jobu?
We don't have time to break out everything wrong with that character. We don't have time to address the amount of people in this movie wearing Native American headdresses.
If you don't help Jobu, then F you.
We don't have time to talk about Bob Uecker whenever there's a home run saying that ball was, quote, hit off the reservation. We don't have time for any of that.
All right, give me the rating.
5 baseballs out of 10. I wanted to like this movie, but man, did it disappoint me.
There you go. Case's movie reviews every Friday at 8 o'clock. Watches a movie he's never seen, but we all have.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
You can't defeat her. She's too powerful.
Clash with Kenzie.
Let the battle begin.
Q 101.
Here we go. Last one of the week, competing for the tickets for Rocks Fest featuring Stone Temple Pilots, among others. My mother-in-law wants to fly in for that because she never saw Stone Temple Pilots, so I'll be taking her to that show to Portage, Indiana. She sadly never saw them with Scott Weiland, but they're still incredible live, and all the other bands are part of that bill. So Adrian's competing, checking in. Adrian, ahoy. Tell us something about yourself.
Ahoy there. Just a local boy here from Chicago. I'm excited to give my hand at the first actual concert, first giveaway here to ever go for.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
What do you do, bud?
I actually work security.
Oh, where?
Oh, I'm not sure if I can give away the location, but we're a pretty well-founded place here in Chicago.
I was going to guess president, but he was like, I can't say. I'm like, I know what you're doing.
Dancing around it.
So what do you think? He's like security at a Portillo somewhere? Or what? Yeah, I'm trying to think of the most important locations we have.
That's it, Portillo.
That's pretty much it.
Portillo's is a good one, but I think with all that food, I'd lose my job pretty quick. Gotta stay moving.
A couple things get past you. Eating a chili dog.
Gotta stay moving.
They're like, Adrian, the one thing you gotta do is guard these hot dogs. Okay, in my mouth.
No.
All right, here we go. First one to 5 wins. Listen carefully. If Kenzie gets one wrong, you can steal a point. She can do the same. Call heads or tails, Adrian.
Tails.
It is tails. Adrian.
Ooh, nice. Yeah,
nice. Here we go. First question. Starting in 2007, Jeff Foxworthy began hosting what game show that pitted adults against grade school students? What was that called?
Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Oh, good job. I might get the wrong grade. Are you smarter than a 6th grader, 7th grader?
That's a spinoff.
Kenzie.
I get a little downtime at work.
Yeah. We got to find out if you're as smart as 5th grader. It's quite the question.
Kenzie, a rhinoplasty operation focuses on what part of the body?
Duh nose.
The nose. I don't know what that does. Does it clean it out? Is it a nose job?
It's a nose
It's a nose job.
Oh.
Clean it out?
I don't know. Sometimes.
What, do you think they have an operation where they clean your nose?
Yeah, I kind of do.
I mean, geez, just take some Sudafed and then go into surgery.
The mini meth might help, yeah.
The mini meth. All right. Back to Kenzie?
No, back to Adrian.
Oh, back to okay.
Yes.
Wait, so it's Adrian, right?
Yes.
It's mini meth, man. What specific part of the foot does plantar fasciitis affect?
The sole of the foot.
Sole of the foot is a past case.
I'm gonna say no.
Oh,
I'm gonna
boy.
say no. I apologize. I'm looking for something even more specific.
Okay, Kenzie?
Arch.
It's not the arch either.
It is the arch. My dad has it.
Oh, I had it too. It's the heel. It's actually the heel part where it really, truly affects it. So there you go. I'm sorry your
My
dad.
dad's arch is pretty bad.
I'm sorry your dad lied to you. His arch is fine. It's his heel.
It's not. It's pretty bad. It
All right.
is surgery.
Is it back to Kenzie?
It is, and just to clarify, a lot of people would just say the bottom of the foot, but specifically we were looking for the heel. I know the text line is going to have thoughts on that, but we were looking for the heel.
Well, neither got a point, so it doesn't matter. So
Exactly.
it's a null point right now.
Null. It's a null discussion point. Kenzie, it's back to her 1-1.
Kenzie, the Green Goblin primarily targets what superhero?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is right. Kenzie's got 2.
In his arch.
Imagine landing off buildings like that. Your heels must really hurt.
Oh, he for sure has plantar fasciitis.
There you
whatever
go.
it is.
You think Spider-Man wears Dr. Scholl's?
So.
All right, 2-1 back to Adrian.
Adrian, other than the Chiefs, Commanders, and Eagles, name one other NFL team still in the playoffs.
This is why I work security. I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Oh, it's not the Ravens. Kenzie,
Okay.
do you know? So Chiefs, Commanders, Eagles, off the table. There's only one team left.
There's only one other team.
There's only one other team. I just blew her mind.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
So no, I gotta picture it.
No
You're
Chiefs?
Saying, you're saying the names of the teams too fast for me. So no Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
No, who else? I'm sorry, it's a lot of you're saying all these teams.
Commanders, no Commanders.
I can't say the Washington Commanders. I cannot say the Chiefs.
And you
God,
cannot,
they're just always in it, aren't
and you,
they?
and you cannot say the Eagles.
And I can't say the Eagles.
Correct. There's one other team left this weekend, Sunday afternoon.
Are the Lions still there?
Oh.
They recently out? Oh,
They're
I
out.
thought maybe they sold one.
That's why we got that coach, because they lost, and he left immediately after that game and came here to get $13 million.
Who is it? Who's
We're
left?
tied up, though. Still tied up.
Still fired up. That's right. It's the Bills.
No.
It's the Bills.
Oh my God, they're there.
Yeah, they're there.
Oh, our boss must be so happy. I had no idea.
Yeah, no, he's pumped.
Well, he's
okay.
happy, but he's also anxiety-ridden, where I'm not sure he's going to be able to watch the game.
Well, that's just our boss, though. It doesn't matter.
So it'll be Eagles Commanders the first game, and then Bills Chiefs the second game.
I feel like nobody's talking about the Bills. Like everyone's was talking about the Lions, Commanders. I've heard all the news about the rest of them. Bills wasn't even on the radar. No, it wasn't even my next guess. Wow.
I don't know whose turn it is.
It's 2-1. Kenzie's ahead, and it's Kenzie's question. She can go up 2 right here.
Okay,
Give me
Kenzie.
something about like The Office. This is horrible.
Kenzie, how many sides does a rhombus have? A rhombus. A rhombus.
That's got to be in your wheelhouse.
A rhombus.
Well, that's like a diamond kind of, right? Isn't it 4?
It is 4.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a diamond, but it's
Kind
4.
of like a diamond, isn't it?
It is. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a diamond.
Back to Adrian. Another sports question. What position did Rob Gronkowski play for the Patriots?
Well, wide receiver.
He was not a wide receiver.
Ooh.
Kenzie, Kenzie, do you know what Gronk played? What he did?
He was a what's it called? Tight end.
He was a tight end. Good job. Kenzie's got 4 now?
Kenzie has 4. It's back to her. She can win with the correct
He
answer.
goes, okay.
Okay.
Righty.
I like Adrian. Very
I do
fun
too.
energy.
Yeah.
I like this.
Over a security guard.
4-1 back to Kenzie.
Kenzie,
Yeah.
in what decade
Fudge.
did Operation Desert Storm take place? What decade?
Was it a video game?
No, it was a war.
But Desert Storm, wasn't it a video game?
I'm sure it was.
I mean, I'm sure it's talked about in the video game.
Yeah.
Well, if it was a video game, it's
Don't
definitely
think about the video game.
Think about the war.
Think about the people.
Oh my God, I just feel like it was a more recent one. It's not like the Cold War, which is like ancient. 90s?
90s is right. Wow.
I swear to God, it was a video game.
I'm so sorry, Adrian.
Hey, I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, you know what? Just give him the tickets. He's fun.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
Adrian.
like him.
Look at that, Adrian. You got the tickets anyway.
That's why we love Kenzie.
I love
Too
you.
generous. Too generous.
Hang on, Case is going to give you the tickets, and only if you tell us where you're working security right now.
Yeah,
Go for
right.
it. Tell us right now.
Oh, I wish I could. I'm not sure if they're listening now.
Wow, he's really serious security.
President.
All right, hang on, bud. You got the tickets. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. But remember, if you love free tickets, stay here in about 15 minutes. We have 9 Inch Nails tickets coming up for that show at the United Center, so stay here.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.